We haven't heard too much at the retreat about the pain body. I was hoping you would address the interactions between a couple and the pain body, perhaps from experience, or how do we play with it? How do we allow it and deal with it as a couple?
As a couple in a relationship?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Is your partner here with you?
Yeah, she's right there.
Okay, so you're both spiritually awakening together. That's good. It takes a lot of awareness and diligence, commitment. So when the pain body arises, you have the certain, perhaps, practices that you can do together or separately. When the pain body arises, it's like going into being the awareness for it. Breathe. Don't allow that pain to take over your thoughts and your mind. But you'll have thoughts with that pain body because every pain body has a story. So, but don't allow it to take over your mind. If you see it starting to take over your mind, you'll become lost in that pain body. So how does the pain body manifest in you? Anger?
Yeah.
Yeah. And how does it manifest in your partner?
Same.
So, whoa, right? Okay. So other practices that you can do when the pain body arises is what I said yesterday. You can stand on one leg, keep in your body, so stay in your body. And the pain body loves to feed on pain. So if the pain body has been activated in you and not in your partner, say, you will probably do everything you can to activate your partner's pain body. So then luckily your partner is also awakening too, so she could or he could be present with it, stay with it, and maybe help you through it if she's able to maintain the presence. But as soon as she sees herself getting lost and being activated and just wants to lash out at you, then it's best to walk away. Just walk away. It might infuriate you. Usually it infuriates women more than men. I don't know why, but it does. But just walk away and come back together when you're more aware. And it's always good to have some space in your relationship. Do you spend a lot of time together?
Yeah.
And how is that working for you?
It's great.
Great, okay. Except for when the pain body's up.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Do you spend some time away, though, when you're not in the pain body?
Oh, yeah. Work and
Other work?
times, yoga separately sometimes. And
Okay. Because I think it's really important as we begin to awaken to be able to take that space for yourself. Because it requires that alone time to come into yourself and to allow your true self to manifest. Because sometimes when we're with a partner all the time, then we kind of share, you know? And when it gets too intense, that's when it begins to happen. Would you say you guys lean on each other quite a bit?
Mm-hmm. We don't really have a lot of other people we lean on. We lean on each other a lot.
You lean on each other a lot. Or you really depend on each other. Would you say it's a dependence or an interdependence?
We want to be together, and we're friends, and we like each other, and we share a lot. Doesn't happen that
where's
often.
your partner? Can your partner come up here? Come on up.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Do you like the amount of time that you guys share together?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's interesting, and that's good.
He's my best friend.
Okay, good.
So-
Good. Do you ever feel like you want to take some space and you're unable to take the space?
Only when the pain body.
Only when the pain body comes up.
It's actually when we have distance is when we fight. When we miss each other, when we don't have quality time. That's when the pain body comes, not when we're together.
Interesting. Wow, I've never met anybody like you guys.
Is that just me, or would you?
You fight when you guys are apart. How do you manage to fight when you're apart?
Well, it's actually because we've been apart and we miss each other. That's when the miscommunication comes, because we haven't been really present. We're just being. Oh, well, not being. We're doing, but we're not being together in a way. So when the distance happens is when the fight kind of manifests. And when we look at it later, we're like, oh, we miss each other. And we don't spend too much time apart, but
So when you guys are apart, and then you come together, because you have to be at least together when you're fighting, whether it's on the phone or together. So you guys are apart, and you miss each other, and then you get together, and you go, "What the fuck?" You know, like, "Where have you been?" or whatever you guys say to each other.
Yeah, we'll say, I haven't
This
been
is a
feeling
hard
you.
one, I have to admit, because this is like the reverse. Because usually people are apart. You can come beside, behind. Yeah, there you go. Usually when people are apart and they come together and they miss each other, they embrace. I've really missed you. But you guys go, ha! You know, like...
Yeah, where have you been?
Yeah, where have you been? Where have you been? Where have you been then, when you guys are apart?
We're usually together, but not present. We're usually doing stuff, and we're usually busy and not acknowledging one another and not being present with one another. We're too busy in our lives, and that
Okay,
creates...
so you spend a lot of time together, but you don't spend a lot of time together.
Correct.
Okay, all right. So then when you spend the time apart and you see that you are apart, like you guys are almost connected at the hip, and then when it disconnects, because you guys were already disconnected.
Mm-hmm.
So when you spend it apart, you actually see that you're disconnected.
when we're on a retreat or on vacation, or we aren't busy in our lives, we don't have this issue. It's only when the busyness of life takes over our presence and doesn't allow us to look in each other's eyes or acknowledge each other or ask each other how we're doing. And it comes from...
So can you make room for that? Even though, I mean, we all have busy lives, so can you make room for that contact, to be present with each other? Do you guys have dinner together?
No.
No, okay. So when are you guys together if you're always together?
Afternoons, evenings, mornings, but we're, getting our kid ready for school. We're taking care of him when he comes from school, and then in the evening we're sort of exhausted, and we're not, we may have other work that's happening, and it's not, there's a lot of quality time on vacation, but it's really hard. We go out, maybe once a week to create the space to be together.
Okay.
But at home, that space is absent. It's
Do you
like...
create the space to be with yourself, though, or are you counting on each other to fulfill you? Yeah?
Perhaps, yeah.
I believe there may be a word for that, and that's codependent.
Mm-hmm.
To have a relationship where each other can be their true selves and independent, but yet every relationship there will be some interdependence. But if you have a relationship where you guys are depending on each other, and maybe you guys aren't connected, spirit to spirit because you're too busy, but somehow you guys are leaning on each other like this, you depend on each other to, correct me if I'm wrong, but depend on each other for everything, including awakening. Awakening is very much an alone process. You can be with people, but it's very much a lone process. So you have two people that are leaning like this, and then you guys separate, okay? Or something happens where one person pulls away, and you guys are leaning, the other person will fall. And then you get upset because you've fallen, because you've depended on this person. This person is supposed to hold you up, and that person now has gone. Whereas a relationship that is independent yet be together, yes, there's leaning on each other sometimes, but when that person pulls away, you go, oh, okay, and you can still stand up on your own. So the relationship begins to move around like this. You're having a relationship, and sometimes you come together, and then other times you might lean on each other because maybe somebody is sick and they need you, or you have your kids and, you're doing things. But here are two independent people, and you meet each other like this. You're doing things together like this, generally. As I said, sometimes you are leaning, and that's okay. But generally, you're two independent people. So that when one needs to take space, or one goes to work, or whatever the story is, it's okay. You are in yourself. You are in your true self. You are the awareness. And that is what's feeding you. Not your other partner. Not the partner. The partner can relatively kind of feed you, but not ultimately. Because if you are only getting your food from your partner, it's not the real food. The real food is the inner stillness within you. So when you guys are together, if you can be this independent two people, spend a moment. When you wake up in the morning, it can take 30 seconds. Even laying in bed, look at into each other's eyes. Or however, you can just look into their eyes, but if you are not connected to stillness yourself, you're not going to see the being in that person. You're just going to be looking into their eyes. Okay, I looked at you, and then off you go. So it really takes that alone time to sit in your own beingness and stillness. Because it is stillness, it is this stillness that a true relationship can come about and move in this world and do the things that you need to do.